Joanne.
Courtney.
Hello.
Hi. Well, we're going to get started. I know our fearless leader will be here shortly, and you all forgive me. I am working from two different computers here. So one is my phone and the other is my laptop. So having technical difficulties here, but we will power through. All right. So I know that Brett will join us when he can, but I want to go ahead and get started. And I wanted to this is really going to be more of a conversation, because I want to find out what's going on in your markets and talk with you what's going on nationally, and then what's going on in your hyper local markets. And I think Brett is coming on through. So we're waiting for him to connect. But I'll tell you, what do you all feel about the moratorium being lifted? Any insight on that? Hey, Joel, what you got?
I'm getting the red letters in place now.
You're getting red letters in place now. So it is a huge opportunity. So as many of you all know, the moratorium has been lifted for COVID-19. And now we are finding that our landlords can do the eviction process. There is, however, one county right here in Atlanta where DeKalb County has decided to issue a 60-day eviction moratorium for 60 more days. But I want to find out with you all and hear about what opportunities are you all utilizing. Joel said red letters. How many of you all are farming now to those landlords who can actually sell their property? Anybody? All right, well, if not, that is a huge opportunity. Brett, I know that
Toya, I think that's a great opportunity in the sense that all these homeowners are going to have an immediate panic. I think some of the other counties might follow suit with DeKalb. So it might be you go do all this work, get your letters ready, and then all of a sudden you can't mail them. But hopefully phone calls are a little more expeditious and get you those opportunities faster.
I agree. I think that that's an excellent opportunity. And for many of you all that may not know about the red letter campaigns, that's really an opportunity for you all to look at absentee owners. And you can do the ones that are absentee that are right here in the state or out of state. So it doesn't really matter. And you can do that through FMLS and Georgia MLS. So that's something that we're talking about as a huge opportunity for us to farm in that direction.
Awesome.
Yep. All right, Brett, what else you want to talk about? What about these iBuyers?
So Matt brought it up last week, Toya, about how in Cobb County, OpenDoor overnight's got like 16% of the active listings. I went and looked in Fulton County and DeKalb County, and it looks like a lot of the iBuyers are in Cobb County and Gwinnett County, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not playing the game in DeKalb and Fulton, right?
Right.
So what does that mean for us? It means our agents really got to educate themselves around how to compete in an iBuyer world. And for instance, if I'm a real estate professional and I'm in relationship with my database, and my database happens to walk into an open house and meet a different agent, or my database happens to walk into a new construction without me, because I'm in relationship with my database, I'm going to know before that opportunity happens. Well, an iBuyer is the same scenario. If you're in relationship with your sphere of influence, you're going to know before they call an OpenDoor and get a bid put on their house, or before they call XYZ one. And that's the offensive strategy. And the second part of this is, are you aware you can compete and offer cash offers side by side with an OpenDoor, Zillow, OfferPad? You have that ability. We bring that ability to the table for you as a Keller Williams professional.
I love it. So I'd like to get just even in the chat, who is actually utilizing Keller Offers? How many of us are certified and how many of us are actually pursuing that right now? So put in the chat if you are currently Keller Offers certified. If you don't know what that means and you don't know much about it, we can certainly get with the team leaders in your market center and they can talk about it. But that's just another great opportunity. And that's exactly what we're having agents do, is to make sure that they are certified and utilizing that tool in their toolkit. I love it. I'm seeing a lot coming in, certified and using it. All right, Christine, love it.
So hey, Toya, hang on. I got a thought.
All right.
Do most people think iBuyer is a strategy for me to go to a listing table with? But do you realize it's also a lead generation strategy? What do you think I mean by that?
Well, I look at it as a lead generation strategy because you're giving people options. So no matter how they want to sell, you can actually say, listen, if you want to sell for cash, we have this opportunity, because what we're finding, Brett, even in our market, OpenDoor is number 5 in market share, number 5. And I think in West Cobb, they were at 13%. So I'd love to hear somebody else tell us how they are utilizing it as a lead generation tool. I saw a lot of people in here, Amy, Courtney. Oh, I got certified early in 2020. Not sure if I need to renew. I don't know if you need to renew or not.
I don't either. We got to find out now. But
we got to find that one out.
You know, Toya, here's the game. And this is lead generation. And this is a higher level lead generation statement I'm about to make. Is we used to do marketing. There used to be companies that would mail postcards to neighborhoods with specific codes on the postcard that said, hey, if you're looking for more information about how much your house is worth, pop in this code on this website. And what it did was it told us who are the homeowners out of the 500 I just mailed to that are raising their hands saying, hey, I'm kind of poking around on how much my house is worth. And there's other companies like Smart Data or Smart Zip. I can't remember the exact name of the company. All these data mining companies have these lead generation tactics, which are all designed to give you better information around who's raising their hand saying, hey, I'm interested in selling my house. Well, I want you to think about the iBuyer for that. You know, if you were to advertise that, hey, I can get you a guaranteed offer on your house, you know, 9 out of 10 of them that raise their hand saying, hey, I'm interested, aren't going to take the guaranteed offer. But you just got 9 listing leads, and the 10th one might actually take the offer, which you get to still get paid on through Keller Offers. So really, it's a lead generation tool to get 10 people to raise their hand and say, hey, I'm kind of poking around about selling my house. Meanwhile, guess who's getting all those leads?
The agent.
No, Zillow and OpenDoor and OfferPad, because they're marketing that message.
Well,
yeah.
Well, here's the thing. We can actually, you know, what I love about it is getting people comfortable. A lot of people don't feel comfortable lead generating by calling for sale by owners. So marketing is alive and well. I call it the PNM, prospecting and marketing. So this is the opportunity, even if you're not familiar with, you know, well, how do I even select my territory? Really researching, starting with your own neighborhood. And you can do, we talk a lot about every door direct mail, which is an awesome way in order to go through the post office to be able to lead generate that way through farming.
Yep. There you go.
So Brett, there was something else that came, I know we looked at in Inman, and there are 3 looming shifts that could change real estate. You want to talk about that? Well,
we can. It's a little naysayer, but I guess this is the industry update, so we got to update everybody. One of the things that's going on in our real estate industry is obviously there's a lot of government forces that affect our industry. And, you know, that's why we have our political action committees and all that fun stuff. I'm in my parking garage. Let me turn on my little lamp here. So there's these forces that affect our industry. One of the government movements around the country has been to eliminate independent contractor status and move everybody to basically what would be like an employee status. Well, you can imagine that would really shake up our real estate industry. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't. I think there's a lot of government forces that want it to happen. I think there's a lot of money in the private sector that doesn't want it to happen. Keeping everybody's political opinions aside, the private sector and money tends to usually win out over government strength in those kinds of things. However, it could happen, and it's certainly something that would change not just the real estate industry from a broker standpoint, but it would also change the industry from an agent standpoint, meaning, hey, if you're not selling enough to justify being an employee, a broker may not keep you as an employee. And that could make things look differently. It's just know what's going on in the industry. Toya, I'll let you take the others.
Well, I think that they're pretty much, I mean, they go into a lot of conversation as far as really, you talked about the National Department of Labor looking at independent contractor status versus a W-2 for the employee. And the PRO Act is something that there's been from the Biden campaign, 3.5 trillion spending package now includes the PRO Act, which is where, just as you talked about, the independent contractor status for most professions, as well as the right to work laws in 27 states. So they're looking at all 50 states to really push this over the edge, I think, in order for us to see some changes in our industry. Don't know how it will pan out. But there have been a couple of companies that are kind of settled through it. It talks about Caldwell Banker and also Zip Realty. So we'll soon see. But I do think there is, as we're finding with a lot of these companies, they're already, established that employee relationship, especially when we're looking at the OpenDoors, OfferPads, Redfin. Many of you all are, very much aware of that. So I just say that this is another area where we have to fight for our industry. And as realtors, we get to, of course, have our voice on what we want that to look like. So I'll put a pin in it that way and leave it right there. But I think we need to stay optimistic about just, really where we have the opportunities and the wins. All right, Brett, you're on mute. You're talking, but you're on mute. There you go.
I think we just have to stay up to speed on how our industry is evolving, right?
Absolutely. I do want to talk about something that came out on one of our leadership calls today, and that's with the opportunities with the refinance market. I don't know, you should receive an email from Keller Mortgage today, and I don't know if many of you all have noticed or have read that both Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac pretty much have dropped the payment that they were utilizing during the pandemic to ensure of course, their mortgages and things of that nature. Well, they have actually removed that fee. And now Keller Mortgage actually has a removal fee that takes place today. So as they explain it, Keller Mortgage interest rates reduced 0.125% below the eliminated advantage market refinance fee for qualified refinance borrowers. So what does that mean? We have another opportunity, not just for our clients, but for our agents as well, to refinance and really be able to save some money. I love that.
That's great news. Did you go over numbers yet, Toya?
I did not. I can though. Hold on. So while I'm pulling up numbers, I'd really like to find out from some of our agents on the call, Brett, what are they seeing in their hyperlocal markets as far as listings and who the competitors are? Who is your number one competitor? Nobody has any competition?
In Area 33, we have Palmer House, some of the iBuyers that are our competitors as far as getting listings.
Awesome. Yep, we do. Brett, I'm sorry, you were going to say something. I'm about to share my screen with the numbers.
Go for it.
All right. I don't have rights. So Niala, if you don't mind giving me rights.
Here, I'll do it in 5 seconds.
Cool. So yeah, that was one of the things that we found, who is actually leading and lagging, and who's your number one competitor in your market. All right, that'll work. So here are some numbers that we can look at. Let me know when you all can see my screen. Here we go.
There you go.
So looking at the week where we are ending, new listings on the market, 7/26, we had about 1,131 new listings that took the market. So actually we are a little up week over week, but if we kind of look at the month in terms of how 7/12 turned out, the week of that, we had 1,800 listings. And even the first week in July, we had about 1,500 listings. So
Toya, I think anything over 1,000 new listings each week is a healthy number for Metro Atlanta. 1,100 is really kind of our benchmark for a average week. Average meaning above that we're doing great. Below that it was a softer week, right? So 11-15 is a decent average new listing week. Here's the interesting thing. I'll be interested to see next week's numbers, because most real estate agents, Toya, I don't know if you train them this way or not, but they like to list houses on the first of the month. So you normally see a spike on the first of a month, and granted, August 2nd was Sunday, so maybe August 3rd or 5th might show a spike next week.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we still hit a huge closing number with 2018 sales closed over the last 7 days, which is actually less than the last week's 7-day total, which is a little surprising being the end of the month.
agreed.
If you'll scroll down, show the little graph here. You know, I always talk about the relationship between the yellow line and the blue line. And when the blue line's above the yellow line, we're growing in inventory. And when the yellow line's above the blue line, we're shrinking in inventory. So they're starting to come back together a little bit. But I think what we're seeing is still a inventory shortage, and we're not seeing any relief of that anytime in the short run. The real question depends on how demand is showing up in the marketplace. And the only stat we really have for that, Toya, we could look at active under contract, meaning how many houses went under contract that week. And you can see it was kind of high in March, and we typically run at about 500 a week that are going under contract, right? So that's a decent number, and it fluctuates a little bit. But you can see it kind of looks like it's softened a little bit. But more importantly, you as an agent in your local market, you feel those demands, right? And the market, I believe, is still third and fourth quarter this year is going to give us some grace around new inventory.
Yeah, we're actually seeing that now, Brett. We're still getting a lot of showings, and I know the last couple of weeks you looked at what did it look like in terms of how many showings per house or per listing. But what we're finding is with the amount of showings, we aren't getting as many offers as we were prior. So we are seeing that soften just a little bit.
There you go.
Is there anything else that you wanted to point out on this particular?
No, I mean, you can click residential lease and just show the graph real quick. It's still a stable leasing market. I find it interesting that the leasing market is so stable, Toya. Like new listings, they lease. It's not like the sales market that has these peaks and valleys where our inventory gets really wide or our inventory gets really small.
Mhm.
The leasing industry, they tend to follow suit. So new listings come on, number of pending, number of closed, they tend to all just fall in line. So it's a stable leasing market, which I always say, of course, if you're a landlord or a tenant, that's good stats for you. But I would personally am using these more for the investor side of my business, going, hey, let me make sure I educate you around property management and investing and that kind of thing.
I agree. And just with opportunities, hopefully with our associates, this is an area for them as well. You know, when we're looking at picking up, is it a flip market? Is it a rental market, a buy and hold market? These are the types of statistics that we want to look at just to make sure that we are making the best investments for ourselves and
Yep.
advising our clients as well.
There you go. Well, Toya, I wanted to show one graph real quick before we
Yep.
run out of time. This is the graph that talks about the iBuyers coming back. And the dark blue is OpenDoor, the purple is Zillow, and the gray is OfferPad. And you can see in second quarter 2020, when the pandemic hit, they all shut down and they stopped buying property, right? Well, look at the hockey stick acceleration these companies are doing coming out of the pandemic around buying these properties. So it's rather interesting if you just look at it from that point of view, how many listings they're really purchasing. It's quite a bit. And if you really, I'll just do it real fast. If you really want to get crazy, you can go into MLS and give me 5 seconds. Say something, Toya.
So we actually found 55 new listings year to date in Area 33, which is our backyard from OpenDoor. 55 new listings. And that's 55 new listings that our agents could have had as well. So I think it's a huge opportunity for us to ask, is there a market for this? And there's one thing I wanted to say about that particular graph. In second quarter alone of this year, there were more sales by OpenDoor, OfferPad, and I think you had Zillow on there than all of last year for those three companies.
Yeah.
That was a huge aha moment for me.
So look at this. Right now in Fulton County, all these are OpenDoor listings active on the market. And what's cool is there's 37 of them. But if I come in here and do the stats and I do a tab, I can see that obviously they own a $650,000 listing. That's not their normal. Where's their average? Their average is this 43 days on the market, 2,200 square feet, 4-bedroom, 2-bath for about $429,000 list price. Their median is 4-bedroom, 2-bath, $415,000 for 2,293 square feet. So you can really kind of come in here and manipulate data to find out who they're targeting. And by golly, if I live in a $400,000 neighborhood and everybody in my database lives in a $400,000 neighborhood, I better have my game on A game around dealing with iBuyers, because it's going to be all over my market. Now, if you're a luxury agent, this isn't necessarily going to show up in your world. And if you're anywhere in between, just know your market and know who's playing with what. So watch this, Toya. So Fulton County has 37 results. If I go back to criteria and I do DeKalb County, DeKalb County has 50 active listings with OpenDoor. If I do Cobb County, Cobb County has 60. And I do Gwinnett's got 90.
Wow. Huge opportunity.
Yeah, so you can kind of see where they're targeted, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing, Brett, and this is one of the things we're talking about at our sales meeting tomorrow, everybody has a primary market that they live in, and that's your neighborhood. You know that area, but I want you to think about secondary market opportunities. So you just saw that there were 90 new opportunities that OpenDoor has captured in Gwinnett. You may want to find a secondary farm market just to expand in order to capture some of that. One last thing that I'll add is that with OpenDoor, Zillow, all of them, they are now approaching over the 500,000 nationally. That's their reach now. Where they used to be 250,000, they're going towards the higher price listings, and they're actually getting more traction there, believe it or not.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
fun stuff, Toya. Any questions, guys, on anything we covered today? We were all over the place, Toya, and you pinched hit for me while I got caught in the car. So thank you.
That's okay, not a problem.
So many price reductions in those OpenDoor listings. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, OpenDoor, here's what agents need to understand. Do you think OpenDoor is trying to buy these houses and make money on them? What do you think?
No, I think they just want to dominate the market. They even taking a loss to get all these listings.
Where they make their money is just like a builder, where they want you to use their lender when you buy. They make their money on the lending side, on the closing attorney side, and the house is a little bit of a loss leader. So the dialogue of saying, oh, they're just going to lowball you is actually not accurate. They're paying top dollar for the houses just as easily as a buyer would. So you got to come up with better scripts and dialogues than just saying they're going to come in and lowball it, because that's not an accurate statement these days.
It's not. And Brett, I just want to close out with this. This is a great time for you to build your profit share tree.
Yeah.
I was looking at some of the comments on that particular Inman article, and there were so many agents saying, I can't compete, I can't compete. Yet as KW agents, we can, because we have Keller Offers. So just know you do have something, but you can also help other agents and definitely build your profit share tree.
I love it. Toya, you're the best ever.
All right.
Thank you guys for tuning in. See you next week.
All right. Bye-bye.